It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Karanauskas at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Line into the back, in trouble, let it go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day one of qualifying for the Daytona 500 here at the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Today it's time trials to determine the front row for the sixth running of the Great American Race. I'm Marty Johnson, joined in the booth today by former New Era Cup Series driver William Brock. William, it's been a while since we've had you in the booth, but I want to ask you, yesterday we had those 22 drivers race in the Clash as well. How big of an advantage do you think they may have coming into qualifying with all the track time they've had early on coming into this particularly big day?
Well, I think the biggest thing, the biggest strategy would be to stay in the back in case there might be a big one in the race. That's definitely a good strategy. And if the big one does end up happening and they're far back, they can definitely try and avoid it, and it'll give them more spots ahead in the race.
That would be very key in Wednesday night's duels, which are day 2 on qualifying to determine spots 3 through 40 and determine which non-charter driver is going home. First one to take the track, the driver of the number 6 Oscar Mayer Ford Mustang, and that is Bryon Webb. You'll see what his times will be on the top right. The ruling here in qualifying, you've got 5 minutes to try and complete your first lap, and if you do not make it in time, you will not be scored. So once that clock on the bottom right hits 0, that will be his last lap. So right now he's doing pretty good trying to get up to speed for his opening lap. Weather is going to be the same and uniform for all drivers, 63 degrees and clear with winds blowing to the southwest about 18 miles an hour. And so anyway, Bryon Webb taking to the track. This is the first time we've seen him race since season number 4 of the New Era Cup Series, when he drove the number 9, back then the sponsor Mountain Dew Chevy Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. Actually almost won the Daytona 500. Lost out on a last lap pass to Ryan Neu. And speaking of Ryan Neu, he's actually the next one up in qualifying. So here's the green flag for Bryon Webb at 171 miles an hour here, losing some speed a little bit, coming out with a dog leg, remaining constant though as he works his way into turn number 1, just about 170 miles an hour here, William.
Yeah, he's definitely got to pick up a lot of speed if he wants to, stay on the pole for this race.
Usually it's the second laps that are always faster than the first one. You see he's already up to 180 miles an hour. They work their way into turn 3. Let's see what he peaks at here. 185 across the line. Staying up though at 186. It's a good thing we like to see though as he works his way off of turn number 4. Down at about 180 miles an hour. He'll have one more lap. Keep in mind, qualifying up to 2 laps, unlike 1 lap last season when we had the single file qualifying. So his first lap, a 50.346. This should be a faster lap though for him into turn number 1. at about 173, so about 3 miles an hour faster than lap number 1. So looking good here for Bryon Webb to put a good time on the board, but we'll have to see what happens. We got 40 more cars to go, obviously, so it's a little bit early on to determine if he's going to be the fast one or not. We're having some technical difficulties on Williams, and he's at the line, 186. Definitely a better lap 2 than lap 1. Let's see what he comes across the line, and looking to be under 50 seconds to the start-finish line he goes, and 49.827 is the first time of the day, and that is where Bryon Webb will start. Up next on qualifying, Ryan Neu in the 66. And now Ryan Neu, the Season 4 Daytona 500 winner, on track in the number 66 Toyota, the MBM Motorsports car. A fun fact, this is our first non-charter driver, so he'll have to make the show. But remember, if he does secure a front row starting spot, he is locked in, so he doesn't have to worry about having to race his way in on Wednesday night. That's right, the duels, by the way, have been moved to Wednesday night and not Thursday night, so we can coincide with the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Mellow Yellow duels. So Ryan Neu, as we mentioned earlier, the Season 4 Daytona 500 winner, again, made that last lap pass on Bryon Webb. William, do you think he may have a little ring rust on him since he did not compete at all in season number 5?
Yeah, he may have a little bit of ring rust, but we'll just have to wait and see how he does on the board.
Looking to be a faster time this time. Already coming across the line at about 172 miles an hour for Ryan Neu. That's a little bit faster than Bryon Webb was on the warm-up lap, but remember, well, the warm-up lap as in lap 1, lap 2, usually where they get a little bit faster. So he's about a mile an hour faster on the warm-up lap than the 9 of Bryon Webb. As he starts to pick up the pace, committed to that low line. You have to be on the low line here if you want to try and get a fastest lap. You don't really want to be committed to the high side in the turns.
Yeah, you definitely want to be as fast as you can going down through those turns, and without a little too much steering, because it'll definitely slow you down.
Pretty good first lap here for Ryan Neu in the 66. No doubt will make it to his second lap. Coming up to the line, lap 1 on the board for the Season 4 500 champion at a 49.811. And that is faster than Bryon Webb, so Ryan Neu to the top spot and already into the turn 1, 174 miles an hour. So good start there for the Season 4 Daytona 500 champion.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive, but there'll definitely be more drivers that are more than likely to beat him on top of the board as the sessions roll on.
We'll have to see here. This will likely be a faster lap coming off of turn number 4. Can he extend the gap? 49.811 is time right now. He's on the pole, the provisional pole at the moment, and he does improve the lap. 49.313 for Ryan Neu. That is about a half second faster than Bryon Webb. CJ Williams up next in the 24. All right, so CJ Williams coming out, and already when he comes out on the time, 2:14 left before he has to take the green flag. And once that clock hits 0, he will not be able to complete another lap. But remember, the maximum is 2 laps here. So Napa, or sorry, not Napa. That's from yesterday. So William, this is a little bit kind of risky here. Trying to take that risk, go out as late as possible, trying to make sure you get those last-minute tune-ups.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that car might have had a bit of an issue before coming out of pit road or what, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he does, and was more than likely his only lap.
This is going to be close to getting to the second lap, and remember, the second lap always faster than the first lap. Anyway, this is CJ Williams in the number 24 in his second season of New Era Cup Series competition. We saw him last night or yesterday afternoon in the AT&T Clash. So he will have time to complete one more a second lap here. as he comes to the green flag for his first lap. 170 across the line here. We'll just have to see how he does in a turn number 1. Gave that big push to Nathan Stapleton. Stapleton winning the clash off of the high side here, retaining it. Almost got passed by the defending champion from Season 5 last year, Steve Morgan. Williams off of turn number 2. Give you his stats. Finished 22nd in standings with a top 5 and 5 top 10s and a pole. That pole was the reason why he got in to the AT&T Clash yesterday afternoon. 187 through turn 3 and 4. I don't know if we've seen anyone hit 187 that much in the turns yet today. So we'll have one more lap to go here for CJ Williams, and across the line, lap number 1 on the board for CJ, and it is a 51.73. So right now he's third, but has one more try to improve his speed.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have to, pick up a lot of speed if he wants to get on the pole. But right now, it's not looking he'll be able to do that.
So he's starting to increase his speed though throughout 1 and 2 after going out of the dog leg. Let's see how he peaks entering turn number 3. Down the Daytona super stretch. Ryan Neu fastest time right now, 49.313. Peaks out at about 188 across the line there, on the speed trap. You can see as well the qualifying standings right now at the moment on the top left of on the left of your screen. Remember, as Williams comes across the line, this time will be faster, 49.646. So Williams will go into the second position. So right now, Neu and Williams have the provisional front row for the Great American Race. Igor Barreto up next in the 77. This is Igor Barreto in the number 77 Spire Motorsports Chevy Camaro, the second part-time driver in the roster. That scheme, definitely a familiar scheme to Daytona, is in real life Justin Haley taking that 77 to victory lane this past July in the Coke Zero Sugar 400. The first rookie we've seen to take the track, so it is his first time on the high banks of Daytona in the NOFSRL New Era Cup Series cars. The field, by the way, the most experienced field in New Era Cup Series history. At least 35 drivers, or about 34, 33, I'm not too sure, but it's in the 30s. I forgot what it was, but they are returning for at least their second season. So it's great to see a lot of experienced drivers come back and make the return to Cup competition here in the top series in the NOFSRL. Igor Barreto wasting no time getting onto the track and getting his first laps around Daytona during speed weeks here. And definitely a faster lap right now at the moment. Across the line, 172 miles an hour for lap number 1 for him, William.
Yeah, it's doing good for his going across the green flag, but he'll definitely need to pick up some speed if he wants to get on the pole.
Out of turn 2 was about 176 miles an hour, and up through the gears he goes. I shouldn't say down the super stretch across the speed trap here. 188 there, head up to 189. Biggest speed we've seen so far right now today of the 3 drivers that have taken time at the moment.
Yeah, he's
go ahead.
Yeah, he's going a little bit faster than all the other drivers, so
49.697 for Barreto puts him into third at the moment. We'll have to see how he does on this faster lap. 175 into turn 1. Fastest speed we've seen on someone's second on someone's second lap. But we'll have to see what Barreto does off of turn number 2. No one's been able to hit 190 yet around the 2.5 mile tri-oval. Barreto could do so right here. 189 across the speed trap. There's the 190 to turn 3. So this looks to be a good lap for Igor Barreto in the 77.
Yeah, it kind of seems like he may get the pole on this one.
Across the start-finish line this time. Barreto to finish his qualifying. And to the top, 49, 186 for Igor Barreto. Collin Denton, the next one to take time. 4 drivers have taken time in qualifying right now. We've got a pair of non-charters on the provisional front row at the moment. Igor Barreto and Ryan Neu. Barreto with the pole with a 49.186. Neu with 49.313. Onto the track, the second Daytona 500, past Daytona 500 winner in the field today for qualifying, and it's Collin Denton, the winningest driver in a new era Cup Series history. Every season he has been in, this is his 5th of 6 seasons. He joined the series in season number 2. He has scored a win, I believe, every season as well. He's been in the playoffs. I'm not too sure about that, though, but the season 3 Daytona 500 winner and last one at Texas back in the summer. In the number 8 for Richard Childress Racing for a season. But back in his famed number 34, Denton across the line. 171, just before he hits 170.
Yeah, he's doing all right so far, but doesn't seem like he'll get on the top of the board for now, unless he can get a faster second lap.
Collin Denton finishing the season in 9th in the playoffs with a win actually 2 wins, along with 6 top 5s and 9 top 10s. I believe he won after bowing out of the playoffs. So not bad of a first lap here for the season 3 Daytona 500 champion and the closest 500 in series history in a photo finish over Joshua Nichols, who was then the season 1 Daytona 500 champion. The first lap for Collin Denton, a 50.021. So right now fifth slowest, but as we all know, the second lap is always the faster lap. At 174 going into turn number 1. Already the throttle, no doubt about it, staying at 100%. It's all really about aerodynamics in qualifying. Make sure you got a better car, like clean car, I would say. But anyway, into turn number 3, 188 across the line, so definitely a better lap here for Collin.
Yeah, it's this looks like it'll be enough to get him probably about at least 3rd or 4th on the board. But let's see how he'll do with this second lap.
Coming across the line here at 177, 49.486. So yes, William, you were right. That puts him right now 3rd fastest. So about 3, so exactly 3/10 off of Igor Barreto's time. Patrick Smith up next in the 14. Alright, it's surprising to say that this guy is a rookie in the New Era Cup Series this season. But this is Patrick Smith, one of the most decorated drivers we've had in the NOFSRL. And by decorated, I should mean talent. He has got a lot of wins in NOFSRL competition, a majority of them coming on what was then known as the DirecTV Fall Series side, now known as the NutriAg Solutions series that is held, Pro Series, NutriAg Pro Series that's held on Jonathan Logan's channel once that series starts off soon. But anyway, let's tell you how many wins that Mr. Patrick Smith has as he is on his warm-up lap. Having some difficulties as well on my laptop for right now at the moment, so we'll get that to you in a moment. Okay, here we go. So Patrick Smith, his first lap, coming across the line at 170 miles an hour. So 10 wins all time in NOFSRL competition. That's tied for 3rd with Derek Schauer. At the moment, he's got the 3rd most active wins of all active drivers. Jonny Gardner has the most with 12, Stuart Gratton 11, and then it's Patrick Smith with 10. Only one of, so that's the only drivers as well, the only 4 drivers, I should say, that are in the double-digit wins club.
Yeah, not to mention he's had a bit of success in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So he's definitely has a. So you are right when he says when you say he has a lot of talent. And I know this from experience watching him as a team owner in Chick-fil-A Cup Series, although he never drove for me.
across the line here with a 51.52. So definitely should have a better lap, but slowing down to turn 1, coming in 173 miles an hour for Patrick.
Yeah, he's kind of near the end of the board, so he's definitely going to have to pick up some speed if he wants to get near the top.
This is the 6th driver to go on out for qualifying. Your 3 that are coming up next: Christian Vargas, Derek Hamill, and Mitchell Collinsmith. 188 across the speed trap once again, just like we've seen from the past like 2 or 3 drivers we've seen. So here comes Smith off of turn 4 to complete his second and final lap of qualifying. And across the line, he will time in at a 49.640. That's good enough for 4th of 6 drivers right now to take time. Christian Vargas up next in the 00. Taking time now, Christian Vargas in the 00 for Starcom Racing. Big news coming from that team as the solo car team moving up to full-time competition for the first time in the New Era Cup Series. Of course, Vargas last season drove in the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. Give you the rundown on how the driver of the 00 did last season. Vargas finishing 24th in the standings, 3 top 5s and 6 top 10s with an average finish of about 22.86, 22.32. He did race as well in the AT&T Clash last night. Vargas was close to maybe going for a win. Tried to make his move out of turn 4, but it was too late. And he was working as well with Steve Morgan, but off of turn 4, that with coming to 2 laps to go, Morgan just lost speed. All of a sudden, Vargas didn't really want to work with him either from that. But anyway, Vargas working his first lap right now in the 00.
Yeah, he's doing decent for right now. Let's see how he'll do going throughout the rest of the track, coming towards the second lap.
188 across the speed trap right there, so we could see something faster on lap number 2, but not sure how that's going to come down. We've seen these drivers usually hit 50-second lap times on lap number 1 across the line at 178. It's a 49.732, so right now that puts him 6th of 7 competitors that have qualified. But one more lap here for Vargas, 175 into turn number 1. This could be something good here for Christian Vargas. This lap will definitely be faster than Bryon Webb. Will the second lap, though, be faster than either Williams, Smith, Denton, Neu, or even Igor Barreto?
He's 188 right now, 189.
Just got 190 there for a split second, but not as long as what Igor Barreto had did with that 49.186. Here he comes up off of turn number 4. A quick lap for Christian Vargas. Across the line, his time slip will say 49.199. That'll put him second quickest. Oh my goodness, just about 13 1/1000th of a second shy of the pole. So that will mean that Ryan Neu will have to race his way in on Wednesday night's duels. Igor Barreto still with the quick time, 49.186. Derek Hamill up next in the 32. Derek Hamill wasting no time in his 3rd season of the New Era Cup Series, wanting to get out for single car qualifying once again. 2nd season in a row he's raced, or maybe even the 3rd season. I think it's been... Nope, it has been 2 seasons in a row that he has raced in the number 32 for Go Fast Racing. Sponsor Schluter Systems, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Family ties as well in that business with his dad as a part of the company. But Derek Hamill had one of the best schemes last season, that Old Spice Ford Mustang, when instead of the real paint scheme's face of Corey LaJoie, he actually put his face on the hood of the car. So I thought that was pretty cool to see Derek Hamill do in that 32. But anyway, 20th in standings last season. Finishing the year with 5 top 5s and 7 top 10s. Average finish of 21.5. A past winner, by the way, at Daytona. Won in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 in season number 4. So that was a very big hometown victory. He was in the number 37 at the time as he works his way into turn number 1.
Yeah, he's doesn't look like he's picking up a whole lot of speed right now, but we'll see how he does going into turn 4 or turn 3 rather.
Yeah, we got that speed trap as well. That used to be an overtime line in the New Era Cup Series, so it does hit 188 there. So probably about maybe a 50-second lap again on lap number 1, like we've seen for a lot of these drivers. We haven't really seen on these drivers on their second and fastest laps. No one has been able to hit a 50-second or a 48-second time yet. There's the 49.814, so that is good right now at the moment for 7th of 8 drivers. Hamill into turn number 1, hitting 175. So right now, definitely a faster lap at the moment. Then Bryon Webb in the 6th. Remember, Webb, the first driver to take time in qualifying. Down the super stretch he goes. No doubt we'll hit 188 here. He could even hit 189. Look at this. 189 to turn number 3. This could be a good lap for Derek Hamill.
And it looks like he hit, I could have swore he hit 190 for a bit there, but doesn't look like he'll get on the pole, but he'll definitely be up there.
Can he beat the 49.186 of Barreto or the 49.199 across the line? 49.287, so that's good for third quickest at the moment for Derek Hamill, but it is a great lap, though, for the number 32. Mitchell Collins will take time next. Mitchell Collins ready to take time next in the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota. By the way, a few seconds before he left pit road, I said, all right, Mitchell, I need aim now, and he comes out. So what do you know? He listened to me. In fact, the next 3 drivers, including him right now, that will be taking time, all Toyotas. You got Mitchell Collins right now in the 19. Up next, Ethan Hoffman in the 18. And then it's Matt Tuck in the 95. Mitchell Collins came close to being the Rookie of the Year in the New Era Cup Series last season. Finished, though, 12th in the playoffs. A big upset in the round of 12. Not being able to make it after getting wiped out in that big wreck at Talladega. That was the lone caution of the race. Otherwise, finished the season 6 top 5s and 9 top 10s. In fact, 6 top 5s is actually tied for the most with champion Steve Morgan as well as 2 other drivers. But here goes Mitchell Collins across the line, looking to have a much better year than he did. Still in JGR equipment, 171 across the line. Last season was in the number 20, which is now being filled by Brian Ferris after Vargas moved to the 00. See across the day by the Daytona logo, hitting about 174 there as he starts to pick up some speed now.
Yeah, he's going at 184, 185, 187, 188.
Hit that 188 in a turn number 3.
189.
We could see that 189 anyway. Next lap for Mitchell Collins. This is likely going to be a 49-second time for the 19 car. But let's see how he does here. 1 lap to go for Mitchell Collins. First lap is a 49.779. So again, faster than Bryon Webb, who's currently the slowest of the 8 drivers that have qualified so far. 176 there by the Daytona logo. And again, down the super stretch he goes.
Yeah, if he gets any faster than he did last lap, he could at least get in the top 5.
He's at 189, almost hit 190 there. How will he do this time in the 190s? He doesn't even hit 190, so likely this won't be a front row spot for Mitchell Collins, but I'm thinking maybe 4th position or 5th. Here comes Mitchell across the line. How will he do here? Times in at a 49.260, so that is actually Good for third place. So knocks Derek Hamill off of there. Good run for Mitchell Collins. And up next, Ethan Hoffman. Ethan Hoffman in the 18, also wasting no time. His first full-time season in the New Era Cup Series since season number 4 last year. Drove in an affiliated team for Joe Gibbs Racing. That was the 81. One at Watkins Glen on one of 2 road courses we went to last season. In fact, this season we go to 3 road courses now besides Watkins Glen and the Charlotte Roval. We are adding the Indianapolis Grand Prix circuit to the Cup Series schedule. Season 4 as well. One at Las Vegas early on in the Richard Childress Racing, now closed number 31 entry. Hoffman finished the year 21st, only missing 3 races in the New York Cup Series schedule with 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s. Best part-timer that was in the field. So here he comes for his first lap. This is a pretty good speed at the moment. 171, just got to 170 though. So let's see how Ethan Hoffman does in the number 18. Fastest Toyota is, again, Mitchell Collins with that 49.260.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how Collins' teammate for Joe Gibbs does here on the track. You know, if who knows, maybe we'll see JGR on row 2.
Only comes across the line 187, so this is not a good start for Ethan Hoffman at the moment. So likely a 50-second time here on lap 1 for the driver of the number 18. Again, M&M's returning to their full season sponsorship on the hood, promoting their hazelnut brand. There is the 50.072 for Hoffman into turn 1, heading about 174. That's the peak.
Yeah, he's not as fast as his teammate, let alone the rest of the top 5. So we'll see how he does, going into turn 4.
Again, turn 3.
But
we know what you mean, though. Let's see here. Cross the speed trap at 188. Not like the past 2 or 3 drivers where they've gone 189. So let's see how Ethan Hoffman runs here as they come off of turn number 4. Remember, that 18 car had 2 wins with Casey Nanico behind the wheel, Richmond and Indianapolis. Hoffman across the line of 49.559. So that puts him 7th quickest among 10 drivers in the field. Up next to qualify, Matt Tuck. Matt Tuck in the 95, also doing a similar strategy like CJ Williams is, going with about 2.5 minutes to go. Should be good for 2 laps for Matt Tuck, though, but it will be close. Tuck in I gotta say, it's an amazing tribute scheme he's doing, putting, instead of the red and white Ream colors on, he's doing purple and yellow Laker colors in honor of the late Kobe Bryant, who tragically was killed in a plane crash. So nice to see Tuck playing tribute to one of the greatest players we've ever seen in basketball history. But the first full-time season anyway for Matt Tuck. Last year was a part-timer in the Spire number 77. I know is a funny guy to be around in the garage. Out of 4 here, Tuck for the first lap. Ready to cross the line. Let's see how he does here. Staying constant, though, at 170 miles an hour. This went down to 169, so this may not look pretty good here for Matt Tuck in the 95 to start things off.
yeah, unless he can pick up a lot of speed going through the back stretch and into turn 3 and 4, doesn't look like he's going to be right at the bottom of the board.
As he starts to pick up speed after going through into turns number 1 and 2. The speed trap entering turn number 3 will definitely tell us how he is hitting. And yikes, 186. This is not a good start for Matt Tuck in the number 95 for his first full-time season. Luckily, though, he doesn't have to race his way in, though. He's in no matter what. But he's going to have some hope in the draft in the duels on Wednesday night then. 50.252 on lap number 1. That may be the slowest we've seen of all the lap 1 times that of the 10 cars that have already qualified.
Yeah, not a good sign for Matt Tuck there. Like I said, he's definitely got to pick up some speed.
Down the backstretch here, this may only be up to 186 again, maybe 187. 187 across the line, so I believe that's lower than Bryon Webb was in the 6th, but we will have to wait and see. He's going to have to hope for a huge boost of speed or wind off of turn 4, because remember the wind is blowing to the southwest. Here comes Matt across the line, a 49.694, so that's good enough for 10th quickest of 11 drivers that have qualified. Up next will be Jonathan Logan. Here's Jonathan Logan in the number 21 Motorcraft Ford, back in it for the first time since season number 4. Took a year off in season number 5, and it's good to see Jonathan Logan make his return. It's a big return that a lot of people have been waiting for, and he is back. Of course, a 2-time NOFSRL champion, one in the then Xbox Amateur Series, and another one in when it was known as the only season, the Samsung Super Speedway Series. So this is his, I believe, his 5th season of competition for the 21. We'll see how he does in his first speed weeks in a while.
Yeah, definitely one of the great veterans of the NOFSRL. So we'll see how he does in this first lap.
Coming across the line. Remember, the wind is blowing coming from the southwest, but across the line, 171 for lap 1. We'll show you as well off of turn 4 what we're talking about by the wind. Why they're losing so much speed as they go into turn number 1, but gaining a lot of speed into turn 3. Remember, there's high winds today coming from the southwest and giving them some drag entering turn number 1. There you can see a flag there in the background. Wait to give you a better shot of an American flag when he comes off of turn number 4. Across the line at 188 already into turn number 3. Could be a good lap for Jonathan Logan this time. But let's see here what he does. There you can see the flag, though. All that wind is coming to them on the front straightaway. Across the line at 177, a 49.819 for Jonathan Logan at the moment. I don't think this would put him on the front row as he's peaking 175 into turn number 1. But looks to be a good lap from what I can tell, William.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he might be able to get into the top 5 at least. But we'll see how he does going into turn 3.
Remember, coming to turn 3, last lap, 188 miles an hour. I think he may hit it again, maybe even 189 miles an hour this time. Yes, he does! Jonathan Logan with a good lap here. He could be in 3rd or 4th. If he makes the top 2, though, that could be a surprise to folks, but not really to those that are in the industry. Off of turn number 4, 180 miles an hour for Jonathan Logan across the line, 49.305. That puts him into the 5th position. Coming up next to take time, Zach Winkle in the 62. And this is a driver who we are mentioning for the first time ever in the New Era Cup Series. Not sure if it's in the NOFSRL in general. But this is Zach Winkle for Beard Motorsports in the number 62 South Point Camaro. Next 3 drivers, including him right now, are Camaros, Zach Winkle, Steve Morgan, and Tyler Markel. So in his NOFSRL debut right now, part-timers doing pretty well in qualifying so far. Of the only 2 part-timers that have qualified at the moment, Igor Barreto still on pole with that 49.186. Ryan Neu will have to race his way in on Wednesday night. He's currently 6th quickest with a 49.313. Chevys in general as well also doing well. They've got their holding the front row at the moment. Barreto on pole and Christian Vargas in second for StartCom Racing.
Yeah, looks like, it'll be interesting to see how Winkle does on his first lap. Doesn't look like he's got a lot of speed for right now.
The drag puts him down to about 171, 172 miles an hour. Actually gained some speed, stayed at that 172 heading into the first turn. So we'll just have to wait and see how Zach Winkle can do. But here comes the big pickup of speed here, the wind pushing him down the back straightaway at that high rate of speed. First lap here across the line at 188. So this is a pretty good lap right now for Zach Winkle. Could be a good qualifying run. Could put him probably about the top 7, maybe top 8.
Yeah, he hit 189 for a split second going into the turn, so we'll see how he does, on a second lap.
We'll have to, the big question though is if he can hit 190 miles an hour. 49,790 the first time there for Zach Winkle. 174 into the turn at full throttle. Now continues to pick the speed up. 178 off of the corner that time. And the speed's looking pretty good down the back straightaway for Zach Winkle. Can he get that 188? Yes, he can. Maybe 189. Yes, he can. Can he hit 190? Can't. Unlike Barreto, looks like maybe not a pole-sitting effort for the driver of the number 62, but a good time, though, for Zach Winkle in his first ever New Era Cup Series attempted start across the line. This time, 49,293, so that's good for 5th quickest for Zach Winkle. Here is the reigning and defending Season 5 New Era Cup Series champion, Steve Morgan. Probably been part of 2 of the most shocking finishes to a championship in New Era Cup Series history. Remember, Season 3 was 3 laps away from winning the championship. Then the engine let go, had a half a lap lead over Stuart Gratton. And then Season 5, I think, was behind about a half a lap over Justin Zajdel. Then Zajdel had to pit with coming to the white flag, ran out of fuel. And Steve Morgan, now we can finally say he is a New Era Cup Series champion. Almost won the Clash yesterday, but then lost a lot of speed off of turn 4.
Yeah, right now, it's doesn't look like he's picking up a whole lot of speed right now, but we'll see how he does on his first lap.
Off of turn number 4, his 4th season of Cup competition, 172 miles an hour across the line, remaining constant there. I don't think we've really seen anyone stay constant at that 172 mile an hour mark yet throughout the entire front stretch, so I want to say this is a good start right now for Steve, but we got to wait till we get to that second lap.
Yeah, he's at 179 right now.
If you guys can do hear something in the background, apologies, as my dad outside blowing snow in our driveway. 189 across the start-finish line on lap number 1 for Steve Morgan. So let's see here how he does off of turn 4 as he enters the wind, giving him that drag.
183, or 181 rather.
First time across the line at a 49,645. That's actually putting him 11th quickest for right now. So kind of better than other drivers' first lap speed. So good start right now for Steve Morgan. Staying constant though at 175 across the Daytona logo. 178. Be careful, friends. Steve Morgan is pretty fast, and he's continuing to show the fans why and his opponents. The timing stripe. 189, almost 190. There it is in turn 3. He's remaining constant there for a moment. Then he hits the wind. 187 now. How will he do off of turn number 4? Will he be the next pole sitter, the next provisional pole sitter to stay? Coming to the start-finish line for Steve Morgan. 49,112, he's got it. Steve Morgan knocks off Igor Barreto, and he's your provisional pole sitter for the Daytona 500. The fans are going wild.
Yeah, that's shouldn't be too much of a surprise considering he's a champion.
All right, Tyler Markel up next in the 48 after Steve Morgan puts the car onto a quick time on the provisional pole right now, knocking off Igor Barreto. Barreto still on the front row at the moment at 49.186. Morgan, of course, with a 49.112 at the moment. Tyler Markel, a fun fact, the only driver not to lead a lap last season in the New Era Cup Series. So this is a big rebound year for the driver of the number 48. Of course, right now, Chevrolet doing a good job. They've got the top 3 at the moment. And 4 cars in the top 10. Markel, for his first lap, is about 172 miles an hour. Just peaking out there, but is actually gaining some speed a little bit into turn number 1. Staying, again, constant, though, but not at the 173 that Morgan was at. This is a 172 for Tyler Markel.
Yeah, right now he seems to be picking up a little bit of speed going onto the back stretch, but we'll see if he hits 188 going to turn 3.
He got 188 there. He may almost got 189, but just got it there. And now starts to go down. Could Tyler Markel potentially be a big opponent for Igor Barreto and Steve Morgan? If Barreto does get beaten, he'll have to race his way in Wednesday night across the line. He's at 178 right now. That's a 49.742. Not as fast as what Morgan had on lap number 1. But let's see how he does in a turn 1. 175 was peaking for a moment at 176.
Yeah, he is picking up some speed. You know, now he's at 180 exiting turn 2. Let's see if he'll hit 190 going into turn 3.
I don't think he'll hit 190, but he hits 189 there. Will it be 190 this time? Trying. Can't. Down to 188 miles an hour. So Tyler Markel, while it's a good lap, likely though not the front row that the 48 car wants, but likely a top 5 car. 48.199. That is tied for 3rd with the 00 of Christian Vargas, but then it now comes down to how each team did last season. And the 48 out scoring the 00, especially with the fact that the 48 was full-time and the 00 was part-time. So Tyler Markel currently in 3rd quickest with a 49.199. Up next is Matthew Logan in the 96. Alright, so now the rookie of the year from last season, Matthew Logan, this time in the number 96 Coca-Cola Toyota for Gun Brothers Racing, after the 31 closed shop on the RCR side. Logan a position off from actually becoming the first rookie to win the New Era Cup Series Championship, but fell short to Morgan when they came to the white flag with 1 lap to go. If that caution did not come out with the spin between Adam Garcia and Carter Friesen, then we would have had a race to determine who would win the championship. And also as well for Gun Brothers Racing, a huge year for them. They're moving up from part-time to the full-time effort in this 96 car with sponsorship as well from the Coca-Cola Company. So they're looking forward to a good year as well with Matthew Logan.
Yeah, right now he seems to be at very average speed for right now, but he's only just about to start his first lap, so we'll see what he does.
Not a good lap, not a good start right now. Came across the line at 170, but remaining constant again until hitting turn 1, just dropping down to 169 for a moment. Now the wind pushing him down the back straightaway. see where he's going to top off here in turn 3. Just hit 187 before crossing the timing line there. Not really, again, what Matthew Logan wants. This definitely does not look like a front row lap for the 96 car at the moment. Across the line here, and we'll get a 51.83. So currently, obviously, the last, as no one's gotten their fastest lap in the 50s. Yeah, it's all been 49s constant. 173 into turn number 1 there for Matthew.
Yeah, he is not doing too well right now. It doesn't seem like he's even going to get it. If he's lucky, he'll might barely get a top 10 here in this qualifying session.
15 drivers have qualified so far. Fastest Toyota at the moment is Collins, who's 5th. 187 across the timing line going into turn number 3 for Matthew Logan, excuse me. And off of the final corner. See how he will do for a time this time. And we'll clock in 49.666. So that is 14th of the 16 drivers that have qualified at the moment. We've got another part-timer up next, and that is Jacob Britts in the 16. New driver as well as a new team. This is Jacob Britts, attempting to make his New Era Cup Series debut in the number 16 fraternal order of Eagles Chevy Camaro for the brand new team in Collin Racing. They were DirecTV Fall Series team. Took some time off, obviously, since it was only a Cup Series time from my channel in the NOFSRL. But now Collin Racing, they've got the funds, they've got the sponsorship from the fraternal order of Eagles. Their second car they're sponsoring for this season, and they've got Jacob Britts behind the wheel. I don't know if it is his true NOFSRL debut or not, but it's good to see him for the first time, though, in one of the biggest leagues in NR 2003. Let's see how Brits does here as he comes to take the green flag for his first lap. And it's going to be at about 171 miles an hour with the wind coming right at him. Fastest time, Steve Morgan, 49.112. Igor Barreto has the fastest part-time car. He's in second, though, 49.186. And right now, Barreto, at the moment, is locked in to the Daytona 500 regardless. Because, remember, only the front row positions today, first and second, are locked. Everyone else will have to race their way in if you are a non-charter car, and also race for a position. Across the timing stripe there, 188 miles an hour. So this is a pretty good lap right now for Jacob Britts of the 6th, who is the 17th driver to qualify today. Coming across the start-finish line for the 16 to complete lap 1 at 177. It's a 49.824, just 3 1,000ths of a second faster than what Bryon Webb was.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a decent run right now, but can he have enough to at least get a top 10, if not a top 5?
We'll have to see what the 16 can do. It all really comes down the backstretch and the aerodynamics. You've got to have that huge push with the wind blowing to you from the back. The timing line will put him at 189 miles an hour until he hit 190 this time. No, he cannot. So not a front row possibility here for Jacob Britts. But as he comes off of turn number 4, could be a good lap. Put him maybe 49.2 or 49.3 here at the stripe. It is a 49.304. Puts him to 8th, 1/1000th of a second faster than Jonathan Logan. Up next, the Season 3 New Era Cup Series champion, Stuart Gratton. And now, Stuart Gratton, the Season 3 New Era Cup Series champion, onto the track in a New Era Cup car for the first time since Season 4. Last time he raced one of these cars, he won a race. It was a very close finish over Jonny Gardner. Gratton, 2 wins in Season 4, coming at Las Vegas and at Homestead, Miami. Full time in the number 41 Haas Ford Mustang. for the Stuart Haas team. The 18th car to qualify at the moment. Fastest Ford, by the way, for right now at the moment, is 6, and that's Derek Hamill with that 49.287.
Yeah, right now he's didn't really pick up a lot of speed going into that turns 3 and 4, so we'll see what he does as he hits the green flag for his first lap.
It's 171 miles an hour across the line for Stuart. If he keeps it constant to turn 1, it could help him out, and he does at the moment. Not the 172 or the 173 that we saw from Steve Morgan on the opening lap on his qualifying run that got him the pole position. He's working his way down the back straightaway. I think if I were to guess, he times into that timing line about 188. Yep, there it is, 188 into turn number 3. So about maybe, right now about maybe in the 50% quartile. I believe that's how that works. I forgot about that part though. But here comes Stuart across the line for lap number 1. And it'll put him at a 49.873 at the moment. Coming into turn 1, peaking at 175 miles an hour here. We get to that Daytona logo. Give you a good estimate on how he's looking. 176 there. And now the wind pushes him down the back.
Yeah, we'll see if he hits 188, maybe even 189. And it looks like he will hit 188.
Yep, just got to 189, but can he hit 190? He can't. 190, that's a tough speed to hit in a single file round, but in the draft, no doubt, it's very easy to get. Off of turn number 4, Stuart Gratton could be a good lap for him. Let's see what happens here for the Season 3 champion of the series, 49.372, and that's good enough for 11th quickest. Up next will be Nathan Stapleton. Well, if you missed Nathan Stapleton winning the AT&T Clash yesterday, let's go back and show you how he got it done. It was a great move with help from Luke Rainey to get by John Andrews, who led the most laps in the Clash. And then Stapleton had a challenge from Steve Morgan, but Morgan didn't have any speed coming off of turn 4. Stapleton used the high line for banking its momentum and the draft to propel himself to get the lead and get the win. The AT&T Clash. One of the Championship 4 drivers, the third of the drivers that we saw in the Championship 4 last season. Didn't even get a single win last year. He's only recorded one New Era Cup Series win. That came in the regular season. That came at Indianapolis, where he shouldn't even really earn that win. There were just pit stops in the final lap coming off of turn 4. Drivers running out of gas, and Stapleton, first car across the line to take the win.
Yeah, definitely a bit of sheer luck on Stapleton's part, but also strategy played a role in that. So, we'll see if he can get his second career win in the Daytona 500.
Right now for qualifying, not looking so good. Entering turn number 1, about 170, 171. As he starts to pick up some speed. Not looking really good from Stapleton. Was 3 miles an hour off of what Steve Morgan was doing going into turn number 1. Timing line has him at 187. Now let's see what he can do here coming to the start-finish line. He clocks in 50.025 on lap number 1. But now has another lap where this one will have to count the most if he wants to try and get a pole this time. 174 into the turn. We'll have to watch when he hits the Daytona logo in turn number 2 what he gets for speed. It is 175, just getting 176 though.
Yeah, he's picked up more speed than he did on his first lap, so we'll see if he'll hit 189 going into turn 3.
He
It's
got 188 there. but just peaked at 189, but did not hit 190. Let's see what Stapleton can get for a time here off of turn 4. Obviously, we showed a faster car of Steve Morgan coming to the stripe at 177. It's a 49.511, so that will put him 13th quickest of 19 drivers that have qualified on time trials for the Daytona 500. Coming up next will be Jonny Gardner. Here is the man that has the most wins in NOFSRL all time, Jonny Gardner, in the number 2. Leads that category, no doubt about it, with 12 wins, 1 over Stuart Gratton, 2 over Patrick Smith and Derek Shower. His 6th season of New Era Cup Series competition. Didn't get a win last year, but finished the highest among non-playoff drivers, 17th in the standings, 3 top 5s and 7 top 10s for Jonny Gardner. New sponsor this season, ProTech, coming on board with him. And we look forward to seeing how Jonny does in the number 2 car once again. Another Penske car. He's not been off to a good start in Speed Weeks, though. He has already wrecked 2 cars for Roger Penske. First came during the Clash practice, lost a cylinder, and Marty Johnson, his teammate, rear-ended him. And then in the Clash itself, got turned around off of turn number 2. And not been a good Speed Week so far for Jonny Gardner. And not looking like a good qualifying time. 169 entering turn 1 was a constant 170 though. But let's see what Jonny Gardner does. He is the 20th car, by the way, to qualify on track. Go ahead there, William.
Yeah, it looks like luck has not been on his side this Speed Week, so if he can get a decent qualifying run, maybe he'll be in position to possibly win the 500.
The next 2 cars after him also driving Ford Mustangs. And here comes Gardner off of the 4th and final turn. This speed will clock in at about a 50.234. Definitely has to improve on that one. 173 into turn number 1 for number 2. Last time he won a New Era Cup Series race came at Texas back in season number 4 in the number 22 Miller Ford Mustang.
Yeah, he is not getting a lot of speed going through that backstretch. It doesn't look like he'll hit even 188.
Got 187 there. Doesn't even hit 189, so this is not looking good for Jonny. His miserable luck in Speed Weeks continues here. Already. 3rd day we've been out here with cars on the track. With today being Sunday afternoon, a line of 49.714. Yikes. 19th quickest amongst 20 drivers. Up next will be another part-timer, Ryan Benjamin. 20 drivers have qualified right now in day 1 of qualifying for the Daytona 500 at the moment. You can see all of them on the left of your screen right now. Steve Morgan, the fastest. Provisional pole, 49.112. Igor Barreto standing in second, a 49.186. Remember, he's a part-timer. So technically right now, he's locked into the 500, but if anyone gets faster than him, he'll have to race his way in on Wednesday night. And speaking of part-timers, Ryan Benjamin out there in the number 36, trying to make his first ever start in the New Era Cup Series. I don't think in the NOFSRL, though. I think we've heard his name before there. But in the car driven by Jordan Lopez last season. Lopez got a win at Michigan. And if I recall correctly as well, he did get a second win as well in that number 36 car. Finished 10th in the standings. Nope, it was just that win at Michigan. I think that was a race he was kind of in a must-win situation and got into the playoffs. But right now, this is not looking good for Benjamin. Only came across the line at 169 miles an hour, remaining constant there. Yikes again there, William.
Yeah, definitely not looking good for Ryan Benjamin. It seems like he'll probably more than likely be the slowest car on the board. He'll have to do better in the duels.
Gonna hit about 186 here across the timing line. He does. What I like though about right now in qualifying, no one's been faster than 49 seconds, and no one's been slower than a 50-second time right now. All of these drivers, they have a chance, no doubt, to make it into the show, especially the non-charters, to make it into the show on Wednesday. And if they do make it, all these drivers will definitely have a chance to win the Daytona 500 with the draft. Benjamin's first lap, 50.416. Still not really that good right now at the moment.
Yeah, he's been slow going in through turns 1 and 2. It doesn't look like he'll barely hit 188 going into turn 3.
I think it would just be about 187. Yeah, just got to 187. The low 187 end, if you look at it in decimals. Out of the final turn for Ryan Benjamin. Ford's not really doing a good job today in time trials. The time here for Benjamin, 49.894. Slowest time right now of all the drivers that have qualified. And right now, Fords have the bottom 3 positions in qualifying. Up next, John Andrews in the 17. Alright. Now, if you're one of those guys that likes to put money on things, especially in sports, for this event, you may want to put some money on this guy to get the pole. John Andrews. While he's not the best at racing, he's pretty good at qualifying, especially in single car qualifying. Last season, the Daytona 500 pole sitter in the first ever time we have raced in time trials or qualifying, single car qualifying for the New Era Cup Series. Last year on the number 24, almost won at Texas, which would have been his first ever Cup Series win in his third season at the time. Now in season number 4. Last season, John Andrews finishing 35th in the standings, only a top 5 and top 10. A big rebounding year here for the number 17. Looking to improve. Lap 1 as he's about to work on that. Coming to the line, starting off 171. Again, these Fords have not really shown that much speed in time trials.
Yeah, he's not picking up a lot of speed right now, but he'll definitely pick up some speed going into the backstretch. Let's see if he'll hit at least 187 going into turn 3.
He does hit that 187, just gets to 188, but after the speed trap. His teammate Bryon Webb was 20th quickest, a 49.827. Let's see what John Andrews can do. First lap coming onto the board this time, and it's a 49.931. So this could be a better lap here than last. We'll have to wait and see. 174 remaining constant entering the turn. So I'd probably say this would improve him probably, I don't want to say about maybe 4 or 5 spots. To the top out here, 188 on the speed trap. Maybe hit 189, he does, but I don't think he can hit 190, he can't. Coming to the start-finish line off of the final turn, Andrews will clock in. Not a front row spot here, but a good time, 49.433. Puts him at 12th quickest. Up next will be Brian Ferris in the number 20. And now, here is Brian Ferris in the number 20, Craftsman Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Would love to rebound after a tough season last year. in the number 88 Nationwide Camaro for Hendrick. But now we wait and see what Mr. Ferris can do. He's the 23rd driver to come on track. After him, the next 3 drivers to take the track will be Justin Zajdel, Marty Johnson, and Benny Watson. Car driven by Mitchell Collins last season. Brian Ferris in the number 88 finished 34th in the standings. 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s. Average finish of 24.73 for him there. Working his way now, hitting that wind, that burst of wind at around 170 miles an hour. So not the start really that Ferris wants for right now. Working into turn number 1.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's picking up a whole lot of speed right now, but we'll see what he does going down the backstretch.
Coming off the turn at 175, the speed picking up big time for him in the first half of it. Now the second segment of it, the timing strike will have him at 187. Out of the fourth turn, first lap about to go on the board for Brian Ferris. The 20 car time here will show up 50.122. Everything obviously coming down though to that second lap. This is where you want to be strong here. 175 there, passing by that logo. And onto the super stretch he goes.
Yeah, it looks like he'll hit 188 at least, maybe even 189. I don't think he'll hit 190.
Hit that, yeah, he did peak out at 188 in 3 and 4, where obviously that's the fastest part of the track because of the wind. Out of turn 4 for Brian Ferris, his time will show up as 49.616, puts him at 16th quickest at the moment. Up next, Justin Zajdel. Well, I think this is the person that some people would call the fans' champion, the people's champion from last season. Justin Zajdel, the heartbreak and the agony for him when he had to come down pit road with a lap to go. You just hate to see it for him. His 2 seasons of New Era Cup Series competition, he has been battling for a championship every season. His 3rd season of competition. And Chip Ganassi Racing keeping him once again. Him and Stapleton, again, red hot drivers for this season. And we're looking forward to seeing how Mr. Zajdel will do based out of Michigan.
Up a lot of speed right now, but this is only the warm-up lap.
Right now at 171 miles an hour, not sounding good at the moment for Justin Zajdel. Not at the 173. Was still at 171, crossing the line. Doesn't go down to 170 yet, and until there in turn number 1. 174 in turn number 2. Let's see how he does picking up speed in the super stretch. Across the speed trap here, just at a high 187. Out of the turn there. Very slow off of turn number 4 though. 180 though, coming to the line. Speed will be 49.981. So that's lap 1 there for Justin Zajdel into turn number 1 at 174 miles an hour. should be your driver to probably keep an eye out for on the 1.5 mile tracks this season.
Yeah, he's going quick.
He won in 2 of them back in season 4 as he's 188 entering turn number 3, but just gets up to a low 189. So here comes Justin off of the final corner here. His time up on the board will be a 49.480. So that will put him at 13th quickest at the moment. Up next will be Marty Johnson. Here's one of the few 6-season drivers we have in the New Era Cup Series. Marty Johnson back in the number 12 once again for Team Penske. His speed weeks did not get off to a great start, though, in practice Friday for the Clash. Rear-ended Jonny Gardner after Gardner had lost a cylinder, sent him to the back of the pack because of the backup car. And did all right in the Clash. Can't recall where he finished, though, off the top of my head. I actually got the video. I had the video, I should say. Was running in that lead pack at the end of the race, though. I know that. But this man, one of the longest winless streaks in New Era Cup Series history. Hasn't won since season 1 back at Texas at a configuration we no longer use. Out of turn number 4, Johnson finished 11th in the Clash yesterday afternoon. And he's now on his first lap. Johnson was considering at the end of last season retiring. However, though, he decided to go one more year, and if it's not a good year for him once again, he's going to hang up his helmet. And now down the backstretch, the speed's going to pick up once again. His teammate Jonny Gardner earlier on a 49.714. Again, the Fords as Johnson peaks at 188. Hits 189 there that time. Johnson, as I was just Fords hold the last 3 spots for right now in qualifying. And as here comes Marty Johnson staying at a comfortable 179 miles an hour. Now 178. A 49.683. That was a really good first lap for Marty Johnson.
Yeah, but he's going to have to get better if he wants to get at least a top 5.
In turn 2, 177 across the logo. If he hits 190, though, in turns 3 and 4, Igor Barreto, get ready. You may have to race your way in on Wednesday night. Coming to the speed trap, he hits 189, almost 190, he gets to 190. Here we go, Marty Johnson. This looks to be a good lap for the number 12. You can see Morgan on the bottom right of your screen how he did. Coming to the start-finish line. Does Marty Johnson have the speed to get into the front row right now? 49.172, Igor Barreto is knocked off. Johnson currently in second spot. And Igor Barreto will have to race his way in Wednesday night.
Wow, what a tough break for Igor Barreto.
Up next to take time will be Benny Watson in the 38. Here's Benny Watson back in the 38 once again from last season, his second season of racing in the New Era Cup Series. Benny Watson, a good friend of mine, finished off his season last year 33rd in the standings, only got 3 top 10s. It was a tough year for him looking to rebound in that 38 car. Right now, his teammate of Ryan Benjamin in the 36, slowest 49.894. Collin Denton 15th, 49.486. 25 drivers have qualified, including Benny Watson. There's just about maybe 15 to go. before we say so long for the day from Daytona. But Watson ready to put his first lap on. The green flag out for him. Only hitting about 171. See how he does it, though, when we're entering turn number 1.
Yeah, he's not picking up.
The logo hit 174. Go ahead there, William.
Yeah, it didn't look like it. Well, he's picking up a decent amount of speed. I don't know if he'll hit 188. Well, maybe he will, but probably won't hit 189.
Just got it to it was at 187 for him, but then got to 188 after crossing the timing line. Out of the turn for Benny Watson. First lap about to go onto the board here for him. And a 49.950 to start things off. This is the only event going on today as a part of Speed Weeks. There is no track sessions tomorrow for both New Era Cup Series, Chick-fil-A Cup Series, or the Turkey Hill Series. We'll see some action Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time with practice for the Monster Energy duels, each of them 15 minutes. And first time we'll get to see all 42 drivers work in the pack. Not all 42 drivers on track at the same time, obviously. But yeah, Monday get the day off, or a good day off for some of these teams just to gather their thoughts and think about how they're gonna get into the duels and get a good starting spot for the Daytona 500. And if you're a non-charter driver, get your way into the field. 49.436 is Benny Watson's time. That puts him 14th quickest overall. Up next, Eli Bright. This is this is not Collin Denton. That was last season. This is Eli Bright in the number 8 car for Richard Childress Racing. His first season in the New Era Cup Series in a while. I think it's been either season 3 the last time he competed. It was in the number 5 Hendrick car for sponsored by UniFirst. But anyway, Eli Bright, good to have him back in the series once again.
Yeah, not to mention he'll be a rookie in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series this season, driving for my team, Full Throttle Motorsports.
Absolutely looking for good things out of him in the number 8 machine. Right now, fastest guy on track, one of the affiliates for RCR, and it's Steve Morgan in the 13, a 49.112 at the moment. That's faster by 6/100ths over Marty Johnson in the 12. Every non-charter driver looks to be, I just want to confirm everything has taken time, which means that none of them are in the front row. All of them will have to race their way in Wednesday night with the duels. And remember, only one of those drivers will be going home. Everyone else will make it in. It's a 41-car roster this season. Right now, for the weekend, we should have some additional stuff filled throughout the coming weeks. But you have to stay tuned to the Discord, because that's where signups are going to be. Eli Bright, 187 into turn 3 across that speed trap there. So let's see how he does off of turn number 4. Coming to 178 here, now going down low, 177. It's a 50.077 for Eli Bright at the moment.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad at the moment, but he'll definitely want to pick up some speed if he wants to get top 5.
Absolutely. Out of turn number 2 for him. And down the backstretch, the speed picking up there big time, no doubt about that. With all that wind blowing toward, not going to his front, but to his rear. Giving a lot of speed there. Hit about 188, I want to say.
Yeah, he did hit 188.
That's what I thought. Coming to the line here for Eli Bright, it's a 49.553. That puts him 18th quickest. And up next will be Alex Lozano in the 88. Here's Alex Lozano in the number 88 Exalta Chevy Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. His first ever season of the New Era Cup Series. Not his NOFSRL debut. Made a few starts in the IndyCar Series last season. That was canceled after the Indy 500. Cam Haas, the champion in that series. This 88 team, though, not really had the best year since season number 1. Season 1 pretty much their best season yet when it was Javier Hernandez that was behind the wheel there. I think he picked up one. I can't recall, though. That was 5 years ago, so. But Lozano in the 88 car. We've got 14 drivers left to qualify, including him. The next 3 that will go onto the track. After him, next 3 drivers will be Zach Ryan, Gatlin Downey, and Zachary Fitzwater. Lozano coming across the line, 171 miles an hour, staying up there for right now, just barely, and going down to 170 there.
Yeah, not a whole lot of speed going through the turns, but maybe he can pick up coming towards his second qualifying lap.
Comes off at about 176, and now going down the backstretch. Timing line 187 there, but remember, usually when we see someone have a good qualifying lap, it's going to really come down not just the timing stripe there in turn 3, but a lot of it's coming down to that first lap. How are you doing with your acceleration, pretty much? Coming to the line here for Lozano, it's a 49.981. So it could improve by a few tenths. That could put him maybe about into the top 20. But we'll just have to wait and see. Fastest Hendrick car on the track has been Tyler Markel, currently 4th quickest, a 49.199 tied with Vargas. But remember, Markel's got the tiebreaker because of the owner points. 48 did better than double zero, obviously, because of the full-time status. Hit there at 188.
Barely hit 189.
Yeah, I was about to say, just got to 189. Didn't hit the 190, though. Out of turn 4 for Alex Lozano. Clocking in at a 49.455, so that's good enough for 15th quickest. And up next, Zach Ryan. Going instantly, Zach Ryan. This is not even 20 seconds elapsed into his qualifying runner, into his limit. Zach Ryan just says, "The heck with it! I'm going out there. I want to time quickly." They were all ready to go. I even think they were all ready to go, even when Lozano was out the last time. But Zach Ryan, his first season in the New Era Cup Series for Team Penske and the AAA Auto Club. Their home race, keep in mind, will be in Daytona. This car won the Daytona 500 back in season number 2. Jared Lewis behind the wheel of that machine. Raced in the Xbox Amateur Series back in season number 2. So which was in 2017. Ryan coming across the line at 171 miles an hour. Don't want to lose any speed going into turn 1. Stays constant though, 171 miles an hour. All right, that's an all right start right now for Zach Ryan as he starts to improve his speed up and through the gauges. 175 through the logo. If you hit 190 though, you've got a good chance of qualifying towards the front and maybe even getting a front row start. He's gonna hit the line at 188. Penske car is pretty good at racing, but qualifying right now, only one that's been the best, obviously Johnson with that 49.172. That is the fastest Ford on track anyway. 177 across the line at a 49.831. Puts him right now, after if he just decided to do one lap, 28th of 29 drivers. Remember, Ford told the final 3 spots at the moment. At a 177, now 180 in 4th gear.
Let's see if he'll hit 190.
Maybe 189, maybe. He's got 189. Does he hit 190 here? Can't. And that's a tough break for Zach Ryan. If you hit 190, you could have a chance. I think he got up to the high 189s, though. Could be a good time here. Maybe a top 10 time for Zach Ryan to the start-finish line. And it's a 49.306. Doesn't hit the top 10, but he hits 11th. And coming up next to qualify is Gatlin Downey. So here's Gatlin Downey in the number 52. Returning in the New Era Cup Series once again. Funny thing, this is actually the first Rick Ware racing car of the 3 in the roster this year to qualify for today's 500. Well, for next week's 500, I should say, in time trials today. Big story from Rick Ware Racing. Moving up to a full-time charter organization. They've got 3 cars on the roster this season. The 52 with Downey, the 51 with Casey Nanico, and the 53 with new driver Neil Clifford. Downey drove the 27 for Premium Motorsports last season. Tell you how he did. Got 2 wins with the organization. 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s. Last year, a car driven part-time by Nathan Ormond. Team didn't race for the last 10 or 15 so races on the 22 race schedule after Ormond got kicked out in the NOFSRL New Era Cup Series for his behavior. But anyway, Gatlin Downey 171 across the line to start things off here as he goes into turn number 1, staying constant there. So we'll just have to wait and see what Gatlin Downey does. If your first level, we've usually seen, if you get that under a 50-second time, if you're in the 49s, you should be good, have a good qualifying time towards the front. If you're at 52nd, it doesn't look really the best. Speed trap here, 188.
Doesn't hit 189.
Likely he'll hit that 189 in the speed trap next time, but the question is, can he hit 190? If you do hit 190, you've got likely a good time. So it's 177 across the start-finish line. It's a 49.873, so that's currently 29th of 30 drivers that have qualified at the moment. 175, just hitting that short line there, over the short dash, I should say, on the lane. 176 by the logo. This could be a good time here for Gatlin Downey, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, right now he's hit 187.
He could hit it. He could hit it. 189, but I don't think he'll hit 190. He won't, but looks like a good time for maybe a top 10 or top 15 time. We'll just have to see as Downey exits turn number 4. And comes to the start-finish line, clocking in at a 49.338. Good enough for 13th. Next up, Zachary Fitzwater. He's an all-star winner in the New Era Cup Series. He's a DirecTV Fall Series winner back in 2017. And he is a 2-time fan vote winner for the All-Star race. He is Fitzy, Zachary Fitzwater, the most popular driver in the NOFSRL. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he prefers Busch. Stay thirsty, my friends. I'm sorry. I had to go there, William. I had to go there.
Well, he stays thirsty, but never on Dos Equis. He always stays thirsty with Foster's.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Zachary Fitzwater has taken the track in the number 4 Busch Ford Mustang. The third of 4 Stuart Haas cars that he has driven in a span of 4 years. Funny thing, he's never won a regular season race in the New Era Cup Series. but won the All-Star race last season, and you can thank the fans for voting him into that. Fitzwater at 172 across the start-finish line here. In fact, one of the few Aussies in the field alongside Fitzy, Stuart Gretton also in. 2017, besides Fitzy and Gretton, it was pretty much a big Australian takeover when, besides Fitzwater and Gretton winning the championships, you know, the Cup Series went to a race down in Australia at I think it was Culvert Park, I think it was, in that area. But 189 across the timing line. I don't think we've seen anyone hit 189 on their first lap. So Fitzwater with a pretty good lap here off of turn 4. We'll just have to wait and see how he does across the start-finish line here. 49.645. That may be the best first lap we've seen today. It's going to be close between him and Morgan. Fitzy's got a good car right now here, William.
Yes, he does. If he can hit 190 going into turns 3 and 4, he may have a shot at getting the pole here.
No one's come across that speed trap in turn 3 at 190. It's going to be close here, though. I think he could do it. 189, 189. There's the 190. It's going to be close between Morgan and Fitzwater. What's going to happen here? Can Fitzy lock himself in with a front row starting spot today? We're going to have to find out. 180 miles an hour across the line. Fitzwater. 49, 125. It was close. He is second quickest. Oh, man. The fans in the stands were getting hyped up. But then they saw second spot on the board for Fitzy. Oh, man. He's got a front row spot, though, right now. He's knocked Marty Johnson off of the provisional front row. It's Morgan and Fitzwater now in row 1. Up next in qualifying is Casey Nanico. 31 drivers have qualified. 10 drivers left. Casey Nanico taking to the track, one of the best rookies in the New Era Cup Series last year that actually recorded wins. 2 on the season last year, 1 at Richmond, and a dominating effort at Indianapolis where he was in a must-win situation to advance into the round of 12 and did that successfully. Right now, after the close call for Zachary Fitzwater, he's got the second spot of 49.125 at the moment. 2 of the vets of the sport currently holding down the top 3 spots. Morgan, Fitzwater, and Johnson, each with at least 4 seasons of experience in the New Era Cup Series. After Nanico, the next 3 would be Jesse Turner, Eric Monaco, and Daniel Voiles. Comes across the line about 170 miles an hour. Not as fast as what Fitzwater and Johnson were putting up, and Morgan, but stays constant in the 170 range. Likely a 50-second first lap here for Nanico. We'll just have to wait and see. Down the back here, going to get about 187, yeah. Won't peak at 188 this time, maybe peak at 189, so out of the turn here, 180 for Casey Nanico. His first lap coming onto the board. He sees the white flag in qualifying at 177, a 50.090.
Yeah, definitely not as good a first lap as all the rest, but you know, he may have a shot. She may have a shot at getting up there.
It is a he, by the way, in case you are wondering. But
yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Hope Casey's not watching, is not offended. At the line, 188 for Nanico. Can he top at 189? He cannot. Staying at the 188. And off of turn number 4 for Nanico here. The 51 car will clock in at a 49.553. Tied with Eli Bright right now, but Bright gets the tiebreaker because of the owner points of how the car did last season. So 23rd spot for Nanico and Jesse Turner. So here's Jesse Turner in the number 43 Air Force Chevy Camaro for Richard Petty Motorsports. Finished 10th in the clash with a rear bumper that was all damaged up. And looking to make the 43 famous in the New Era Cup Series, just like he's done in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series as well, William.
Yeah, definitely one of the greats on Napa fan. I think he's the first ever winner on his channel, and also has the most wins. No, wait.
First ever winner on in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But anyway, he is one of 9 drivers that have yet to qualify today. Fastest driver currently right now, Steve Morgan with that 49.112, working his way off of turn number 4. Speed at 171 miles an hour across the line at the moment. But going between 170 and 171, he's going to have to maybe get a lot more speed to try and make the front row and lock his position in. Down the back stretch, the super stretch for the first time on a qualifying lap. Speed trap will put him at 187. Topping out at 188, then dropping back on down. Likely a 50-second first lap for him. So Jesse Turner across the line in a 50.045 at the moment. Has one more lap to try to improve that time. By the logo at 176 miles an hour. I'm guessing Williams trying to speak. We're having some difficulties, technical difficulties on his end, trying to fix them up as quickly as possible. This could be a 188 here for Jesse Turner, and he does hit there about mid-188. He won't top at 189, stays at 188, now gets into the win. And here's all that drag off of turn 4, Jesse Turner. Where will he clock in? Of 33 drivers that have qualified, Jesse Turner currently is at a 49.529, 22nd quickest for the 43 car. And up next is Eric Monaco. And here is Eric Monaco, and probably one of the sickest schemes this season. And a number 3 Bass Pro Shop Chevy Camaro, kind of like a little bit of a throwback car to Dale Earnhardt when he drove that number 3 car. But it's good to see him back. Won at Michigan in Season 4 in the number 3 machine. Then went to the part-time 00 start commentary. Won at Talladega, upset Steve Morgan there. And Monaco back for the full 36 once again, looking to try to get into the playoffs and maybe win another championship.
Yeah, he has not too much of a bit of a rust since he was a part-timer last time around, but maybe he can contend for a championship this season.
See, where's he going to top out? He's topping at 172 before the wind picks up, Trying to remain constant at that 171, but drops down to 170. May not look like a good lap here for Eric Monaco. His teammate right now, Eli Bright, 23rd quickest with a 49.553. Dropped down to 169 there before entering turn 1. So this may be a back of the pack lap here for the 3 machine.
Yeah, 170, around 177 coming out of turn 2.
This is likely
Let's see if
187. Just got to 187 sharp there. But yeah, not really going to be a good lap for Mr. Monaco.
Yeah, if he wants to have the shot at the pole, he's going to have to go towards at least 188 going second.
It's a 51.90. If he wants the pole, he's got to hit 190. All those guys in the front row, they've hit 190 today. They're going to need a miracle. $175 by the Daytona logo in turn number 2. And let's see how he does across the speed trap. At 187, so not the 188 William was thinking of, but 188 is where he tops out, so Monaco, not a good lap for him. Coming to the line, he'll clock in 49.690. That's 30th quickest at the moment. 7 drivers to go, and Daniel Voiles is up next. This is Daniel Voiles in the 47, his first return to the New Era Cup Series since season number 2 when he drove in the then 46 car for the H. Scott Motorsports team. Almost won, by the way, at Michigan, but lost out in a 3-wide photo finish to Jared Lewis that day. I think it was the first Michigan race we had of the season. But good to have Daniel Voiles back for New Era Cup Series competition. It's actually the first of the 2 JTG cars that have gone out to qualify today.
Yep, the owner and founder of the PCSRA is definitely looking towards getting a good qualifying position here today.
Right now, Chevrolet, they've got 6 drivers occupying the top 10. The big factor, though, Morgan currently on pole, 49.112. Voiles across the line, though, at 170 miles an hour. But again, this is just the first lap. He's got 1 lap to go to try and get this car into a good starting spot. But of course, they've got to get through the duels as well Wednesday. If he doesn't make the front row, try to improve his starting spot.
Yeah, 178 coming out of turn 2. Let's see if he'll get 187 coming into turn 3.
Hits 187 just on the low end there. But not a good start right now to this qualifying run. First time he's been in one of these New Era Cup cars since season 2. As aforementioned, first time he's ever been in the Camaro in general. And I think it's the first time he's had to deal with this high downforce package. But first lap on the board, it's a 50.189. One more lap to try and improve it.
Yeah, it's 174 going into turn 1, down to 172.
Out of the turn, coming out at 177. Now the wind pushing him down the back straightaway. Remember the wind coming from the southwest, blowing in the teens today. It was blowing like that the same way yesterday for the Clash. 188 across the speed trap, and that's where he tops off. So Daniel Voiles coming off of turn number 4. We'll clock in at a 49-second time, but what's the decimal points going to be after it? 49.692. That's good enough for the 31st position out of 35 drivers that have qualified so far. And up next will be Luke Rainey in the 15. Luke Rainey now ready to take time in the number 15 machine for Premium Motorsports. 6 cars remain to qualify. And still Steve Morgan on top of that 49.112. 6 drivers have put their cars into the 49.1s. 3 drivers in the 49.2s. And about maybe 6 cars in the 49.3s. And 5 in the 49.4s. But that's how the top half of the grid looks right now at the moment. If we get by the penultimate car, whoever is on pole when we get by the penultimate car at the time, whoever is on pole will be locked into a front row spot, whether it's the pole or the second place position. But anyway, here's Luke Rainey ready to take the green flag. Won at Talladega in the Geico 500 last season in its rookie year in the number 22 Money Lion Ford Mustang. Good to see him return for a second season. 170 though entering the turn. Go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does in this qualifying. Right now he's 175, 178 coming out of turn 2. Let's see if he'll hit 188 going into turn 3.
Topping off at 187 across the speed trap there. And that's where he does top at 187 out of the turn as the wind starts to drag him out at 180 out of the corner. First lap time for Luke Rainey on his timed warm-up lap. 450.09. And here's the money lap that counts. 174 topping off into turn number 1. Remember that magic number. These drivers have to hit 190 if they want a chance to get into the front row.
And there you hit 185, 187.
Got to 188 though. I don't think he'll hit 190. No, he just tops at 188. So coming off of turn number 4, Luke Rainey. We'll see where he hits here for the 49-second time. 49.571. And that's good for 26th right now. And up next will be Carter Friesen in the 37. And now here's Carter Friesen in the 37-degree Chevy Camaro. Moving still with JTG Doherty racing after last year, but switching from 47 to 37 this year. So just kind of like Ryan Preece actually did in the real-life NASCAR Cup Series. But Friesen almost came close to winning the Coca-Cola 600, but ran out of gas. Had to come in to the checkered flag. It was a tough break. He was coming. He was on a mission. Hadn't even led a single lap. And almost beat out Matthew Brown to win the race. So here's the qualifying order, including Friesen. There's 5 drivers yet to qualify. So after Friesen, it's Cody Smart, Neil Clifford, Diego Rossello, and Edwin Mendez. And still right now, it's looking pretty good for Steve Morgan and Zachary Fitzwater. They've got the front row at the moment, 49-112 and a 49-125 respectively. Friesen comes across the line at 171 miles per hour, and now he's facing the wind at the moment. It's keeping him constant, though, not improving his speed.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, well, he'll just have to hope they can make it to at least 187.3. Or hopefully he can make it to 190 on his second lap going into turn 3 as well.
See where he comes across the timing stripe here. Hits 188. Does he top out at 189? No, he does not. Stays at 188. So one of the better laps we've seen than the past few qualifiers on track. Remember his teammate Voiles, currently 32nd of 36 drivers that have qualified with a 49.692. Here comes Friesen across the stripe. He'll be on his first lap at a 49.856. Currently right now 36th quickest of 37 drivers, 175 into the first turn.
Yeah, you see him going at 175 going into turn 4. And coming out of turn 4, he just hit 181 coming out of turn 2. So let's see if he'll hit 189 going into turn 3.
He's going to be closer to
188.
189. Just got to 189.
189.
I don't think he tops out at 190. He does not. But this is a good lap, though, for Carter Friesen. Considering it right now, I think he'd probably be about maybe top 15, top 20. Wait to see where he comes across the stripe in a 49.329. And that puts him in. So we wait to confirm it. 14th. Four drivers to go. Cody Smart up next. Cody Smart back full time in the New Era Cup Series. First time since season number 4. Last year in the number 10 machine. That was driven by Fitzy last year, though, for him. Part-time for Biker Racing, their only season of Cup competition to date. And Cody Smart picked up 2 wins. So it was a good win for, good season for them as well. Had a lot of bad luck, though, when he raced full-time from seasons 2 through 4. Second season was when he began competing in the Cup Series. 2 and 3 were driven with Roush Fenway Racing in the 17. Then season 4 went to the 41. Also for Stuart Haas, didn't work out well for him. So Cody Smart would love to get another win this season. We'll have to see what happens. He's got a lot of big shoes to fill, especially after Zachary Fitzwater moving to the 4 machine. So he comes across the line at 171. Now the question is, can he remain at a constant pace?
Right now, he's still at 171 coming in at 170 for a split second. 172.
Now the speed starts to pick up here when 174 across the by the logo. We usually focus on the logo on the second lap, but the first lap I wanted to focus on it there. Not looking good on the speed trap here as he comes across it. Could be about 188. Yes, it is. Usually they've been hitting 189. The better guys have been hitting 189 on their first lap. We'll have to see where he ends up. Still at 178, so that's actually pretty good right now. 49.906. Still right now last, 38th at the moment, 174 for right now as he picks up speed. Where will this go by the logo? 176. If he can hit 189 or 190, maybe a top 5 car. I don't think it's a front row capable car at the moment, but we'll just have to wait and see how he gets through the speed trap here. 180, no, 188, but got to 189. He can't hit 190. So this is likely a top 15 car here for Cody Smart. Top 15 or top 20. Coming across the start-finish line here. He goes to a 49.374. Puts him to 17th. Just behind teammate Stuart Gratton. 3 drivers left in Neil Clifford. 3 more drivers to go. This is Neil Clifford in the 53. A brand new team for Rick Ware Racing, expanding from 2 to 3 as we mentioned earlier on. Clifford will be making his New Era Cup Series debut next Sunday. Green flag time for that is 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We hope you can join us for that. Starting 90 minutes before the real race. Not sure if this is his true NOFSRL debut, if he's running any races on the Napa fan side last season. But yeah, Neil Clifford. See what he can do. Remember, if one of the next 2 drivers do not overtake, both of the next 2 drivers, I should say, do not overtake Steve Morgan, Morgan is locked in to the front row as long as he does not wreck during the duels or any further practice sessions. 171 across the line for Neil Clifford as he works on his first lap.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit difficult to see to gain up speed going through the turn 2 and through the backstretch. We'll see if he may be able to hit 187 at least going into turn 3.
The wind pushing him down the backstretch on his first full speed lap, his first fly lap, 188 across the timing stripe. It's topping off there at a high 188 rate. But now the speed puts him back down. Coming to the line, should be about 177 miles an hour. Yes, it is. 49.895, the first lap for Neil Clifford. Just at 39th position for right now.
.180 coming out of turn 2. Let's see if
he
he'll
can hit
get
189.
again.
It could be if he can hit 189, it could be a chance, but I don't think it's likely. 188, but got to 189. He can't hit 190 at all. Likely a top 15 or top 20 race car. Maybe top 25, depending on what happens here off of turn number 4. And now the engine will go with the wind facing Neil Clifford. Coming to the start-finish line, the 53 car clocks in at a 49.406. And that's 18th quickest for Neil Clifford. 2 more cars to go, and Diego Rossello is up next in the 9 machine. Alrighty, 2 cars to go. If Diego Rossello does not top the charts here, Steve Morgan is guaranteed a front row spot for the Daytona 500. And yes, that is the defending New Era Cup Series champion. So Diego Rossello, his NOFSRL debut will be made next Sunday in the Great American Race in the 6th running of it. In the number 9, Kelly Blue Book Chevy Camaro for the Hendrick organization. Last year, Isaac Nichols back in the 9 car. Well, back in the New Era Cup Series, but drove the 9 car. Didn't have really the best season to date for him. But someone making their true NOFSRL debut has never raced a car in the NOFSRL, William. How big of a disadvantage do you think this could be for Diego?
Well, I think with it, the biggest disadvantage would be with him being a rookie. So, but then again, I mean, rookies have made upsets before it when it came to qualifying. So, it'll be interesting to see how he does right now as he's 170 going into turn 1.
Probably the last bigger upset we had was a part-timer winning the pole in the final group qualifying effort in the Daytona 500. That was set by Sky Commons, who was a part-timer, so he guaranteed a spot in the field with that performance. Highest rookie driver right now, if we take a look at this, it's Igor Barreto, currently 4th with a 49.186. As you can see, Rossello only hits 186 entering turn number 3. This is not a good first lap for him. He is going to need a miracle for lap number 2. But remember, the weather remains unchanged whatsoever. You are going to have to rely on your engine and your aerodynamics. 50.241, the opening lap for Diego Rossello. 1 remains for him, and if he cannot get it to be a pole-sitting time, Steve Morgan is on the front row for the Great American Race.
Yeah, right now it's 176. Now 179 coming out of turn 2. It doesn't look like he'll hit 180. He'll barely hit 188, if at all, going into turn 3.
187 there, but tops at 188. Not going to be fast enough. Steve Morgan starting to celebrate, but there's 1 car left. He knows he's on the front row. But will Morgan start on the pole? The stock continues to go up. Rossello's time, 49.720. Yikes, 38th quickest. It's the worst Chevy driver right now at the moment. And all that's left is Edwin Mendez in the 11. final guy for qualifying, and then everyone can head home for the day. Edwin Mendez, is he the one to knock off Steve Morgan for the pole? We haven't really seen a lot of people knock off the pole sitter for today. But can Edwin Mendez knock off either Steve Morgan to get the pole or knock off Zachary Fitzwater to start second in the Daytona 500 next week? He's been in every Daytona 500 and has raced in every season of the New Era Cup Series. First time ever he's had a race in a manufacturer that's not a Chevy, in a Toyota, with the Joe Gibbs organization. Released from Stuart Haas Racing again. Off of turn 4. He actually hit 173 for a moment, still at 172. If he can remain there, William, this could be close. 171 there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Staying constant there, but William, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he'll get up to 189 going to turn 3 on this lap. Maybe, and if he does, maybe there's a good chance he'll hit 190 on the second lap.
We'll just have to wait and see. 187. It's going to be 188 here. Yes, 188 is where he tops out. Again, remember the magic number is 190 if he wants a chance at the front row. Steve Morgan, his qualifying lap is on the bottom right of your screen. Can he do it? You see it right there. A 49.864 on the first lap for Edwin Mendez. Can the number 11 knock off the number 13? 174 into the turn. Doesn't seem likely he beats out Morgan, but Fitzy, I don't know. It's too early to tell right now, but he's already up the speed he goes. Down the super stretch for the final time. He'll top out at 189, but can he hit 190? He cannot. I think that's going to do it. Out of the final turn, the final driver to qualify. Mendez, where will he start? Where will he qualify in time trials, to say the least? 49.359. That's good for a 16th. And Steve Morgan will start on pole for the Daytona 500 next Sunday. Zachary Fitzwater to start second. You could not ask for two better drivers to start on the front row.
Yeah, definitely see good veterans, especially in Zachary Fitzwater, one of the great veterans in the NR community. So we'll see how he does going into the duels as well as the 500.
Big qualifying effort there for Edwin Mendez, 16th. But yeah, Steve Morgan coming off of a championship season, starting on the pole for the Great American Race. Fitzwater to start second now, as long as they don't change engines or have to go to a backup car whatsoever. They will be starting there regardless of how they finish in the duels on Wednesday night. So, we now give you the starting lineup for each duel. We'll start things off with duel number 1. Each duel, by the way, with 21 cars. Or actually, excuse me. Duel 1 will have 21 cars. Duel number 2 will have 20. So your front row will be Steve Morgan and Marty Johnson. Row 2, Tyler Markel, Mitchell Collins. Row 3, Zach Winkle and Jonathan Logan. And Winkle, by the way, the best non-charter driver right now at the moment in duel number 1. Row number 4, Ryan Neu and Gatlin Downey. Row 5, Stuart Gratton and Neil Clifford. Row 6, Benny Watson and Justin Zajdel. Row 7, Nathan Stapleton, Eli Bright. Row 8, Ethan Hoffman and lost contract there for a moment. And Brian Ferris. Row 9, CJ Williams, Eric Monaco. Row 10, Matt Tuck and Diego Rossello. And row 11, all by himself, Ryan Benjamin in the danger zone. And now we give you the lineup for duel number 2. Zachary Fitzwater, Igor Barreto will make up the front row. Barreto, the highest non-charter driver, to start in duel number 2. In row number 2 itself, Christian Vargas and Derek Hamill. Row 3, Jacob Britts, Zach Ryan. Row 4, Carter Freeze and Edwin Mendez. Row 5 is Cody Smart and John Andrews. Row 6, Alex Lozano and Collin Denton. Row 7, Jesse Turner and Casey Nanico. Row 8, Luke Rainey and Patrick Smith. Row 9 is Matthew Logan and Daniel Voiles. And row 10, Jonny Gardner and Bryon Webb. The duels Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. The night beforehand also at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. These drivers will have a chance to practice with their respective duel. William, final thoughts on qualifying today, and what are you looking forward to on Wednesday for the duels?
Well, I gotta say, I feel a little bit of heartbreak for Igor Barreto, especially, coming close to being locked in on the front row for the Daytona 500 and not having to race his way in on the duels, but we'll see what he has to do there. But I'm definitely expecting a lot of fast-paced racing here in the 500, and I'm definitely going to be expecting the big one in this race.
Both duels will be races to watch out for. William, it's been a pleasure having you in the booth today. You did a great job as always. So that's going to wrap things up here at Daytona for today. No action tomorrow, but Tuesday, once again, dual practice Tuesday night. Starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Duel 1 going first, and then it will be duel number 2, and then Wednesday night are the duels, the Monster Energy duels, to set the rest of the field for the Daytona 500. On behalf of William Brock, I am Marty Sakala. You have been watching the NOFSRL New Era Cup Series Daytona 500 qualifying as a part of NOFSRL Speed Weeks presented by Mellow Yellow. Congratulations on Steve Morgan on getting the pole for the Daytona 500. We'll talk to you guys Tuesday. Until then, so long from Daytona.